Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble news channel. It's hard for me to imagine that we won't have $100,000 by the end of 2024. I believe this cycle will lead us to $200 K or $300 K. That's when we might have bought a little too much, so we come back around and sell a little. I don't think anyone has missed the boat. I think we're still in the early stages and it will go to 10x and then 10x again. So if you're an investor, you don't want to miss something that will go up 100x or even 1000x in 15, 20, or even 30 years. Lawrence Lepard, a well-known financial manager and supporter of sound money, has one of the most optimistic outlooks for Bitcoin, which is the largest cryptocurrency by market cap. He agrees with Michael Saylor that the price of Bitcoin will one day hit an unbelievable $1 million per coin. He also thinks that the huge gains will keep happening until the price of Bitcoin is at least 1,000 times higher than it is now. Larry is sure of Bitcoin because he and other supporters of sound money say that the debt-based financial system will soon and surely fall apart. Bitcoin is also different from everything else the world has ever seen because of its many important principles. Larry is very interested in Bitcoin's network effect. In a recent post on social media site X, he said that Bitcoin's use case is to keep value like gold. However, it's much better than that because the network effect is growing. The network gets more valuable as more people use it. Could this be a once-in-a-generation chance? It's really amazing. It's the most unequal chance I've ever seen. People who miss it will feel terrible sorrow. A gold bug asked Larry about Bitcoin's use as a store of value and a medium of trade. In response, Larry wrote another post that Bitcoin is the soundest form of money ever made. End of story. The safest way to handle money always wins. It is better at storing value than other things. Metcalfe's law and the network effect will drive it to prices you can't even imagine. Larry recently gave Jamie Curry of the Crypto Nutshell channel a bunch of very optimistic price predictions for Bitcoin. He also talked about why he is so sure about the top cryptocurrency. In the venture capital business, the first thing you should look for is yourself. Gene Kleiner told me this, or rather he told it to other people. That's what he wrote about at Dogs Eating the Food. You should look for something that people are already using and that more and more people are using every day. Okay, it is important to find clear growth trends. And if you see a clear growth trend, you can extrapolate it and say that if something is growing, it will continue to grow, assuming everything else stays the same. A company called Netcom was one of my big wins in the internet space. We put about $5 million into it, and now it's worth $15 million. I think AOL bought me for about $280 million. We were like $100 million. I was crazy. And by the way, when we were looking into Netcom, it was a dial-up service in Silicon Valley. The founder started it in his garage, and people would just dial into his server, which was then connected to a bigger server, which was then connected to the internet. He charged them $20 a month. And, when I filed the guy, I don't remember the exact numbers, but he had 500 members, and he was adding 150 more every month. So it was like, holy crap, before we knew it, he had 200,000 members by the time he was done. The fact that there is that much progress just proves that something is working. Also, you can see the same thing in Bitcoin. Okay, adoption, growth, and new people are just through the roof, and ETFs are the reason for it all. Allow me to talk about a pair that I missed. Okay, so Amazon and Google show up. Because of this, the first thing I did when I started my own fund was decide to look for growth at a fair price. And I filed it in India. We worked with cell phone companies that were growing by 40% a year and selling at 3 times their earnings. That worked. Okay, but I also looked in the US and saw that both Amazon and Google were rising. They weren't making any money in either case, but especially in the Amazon case. So I looked at it through the lens of my old finance degree and said, yeah, it's growing, but they're making up for it by losing money and making it up in volume. They were able to do it thanks to SERP. Okay, to put it another way, their cost of cash was really low. Jeff Bezos pretty much destroyed middle-class and mainstream American stores on Main Street because he didn't have to pay for his cash. So he could, Amy went around getting things. You pay a lot of money for warehouses, picking things up from warehouses and all that. He knew where we were going before we got there. It was amazing that he didn't have any cost of cash. He wasn't making any money, though. I didn't know that he was using the old monopolist strategy of losing all the money until you have a monopoly and can raise costs and make a lot of money. That's why I didn't notice that was the game he was playing. I thought it was a bad plan because of this. That's why I didn't put money into it. And I really wish the deal with Google was the same, but it wasn't. They weren't doing it for free money. Because I used Google but never clicked on the ads, I didn't understand how this could be possible. I thought, this doesn't make sense. I mean, these ad people are being ripped off. They're spending a lot of money on Google to get on the first page, but it's not working right now. It turns out I was wrong about that, but I couldn't see it because of it. They were both network businesses that became more useful as more people joined. Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. As soon as I saw Bitcoin, I knew it was a network of money that was growing slowly and exponentially. I also knew that everyone needs money, and that Bitcoin is the best form of sound money. As Saylor and Preston said not long ago, there's no deflection in it, there are only 21 million of them. Just for me, what you said about price expectations made me realize that I have no idea where it will be tomorrow or at the end of the year. I'm thinking maybe 100K, but I know for sure this is going to be 200K. Then it will be 1 million, 2 million, and 8 million per coin. That's what I mean, because that's how networks naturally grow. That's why I'm pouting the table. I didn't want people to get in and think, wow, I'm paying too much. I mean, I have a very, very rich friend who knows that my normal price is pretty low and that you can't pay $60 or $700. I told her, look, it doesn't matter. In other words, I don't remember how much I paid. I mean, in the thousands on average, but Max Kaiser paid $2. And I don't blame Max. I just know that one day someone paying $2 million a coin will think my average price is very low. So, it's just Saylor's point. I mean, Laura, it keeps going up. You can either decide that you're going to buy it in the end. People don't understand that finally everyone will buy this. That's something I don't think many people know, so you might as well buy it now instead of waiting and paying a lot more for it later. You can't tell what will happen with Bitcoin's price from day to day, week to week, or month to month. Who the hell knows? It almost surprises you, at least that's what I've seen after watching for a long time. I just use dollar cost average and hold, I don't sell. Actually, the ETFs are a really great thing that has happened. They really are. As of today, they let a lot of money into the asset and, the asset. I mean, I think it was down to 60, high 50s, 60, look, it's still up. I don't know, 40% for the year. I mean, it's not like a disaster or anything. I mean, this number was 30 a year ago and it was 16 6 months before that. It's still kind of working and it will keep working. So I don't think the short-term swings are that important. I don't know why the price is what it is right now. I don't watch that much of that kind of stuff. I mean, the MT, GOX coins are definitely an option. I think they're going to lose their faces. I've seen a lot of hedge funds that are short. I was also told that one reason might make sense is that the miner's reward was cut in half not too long ago, about 2 months ago. Some of them had Bitcoin on their balance sheets, but others probably aren't making much money right now or are having cash flow problems. The miners are probably in a situation where the less successful ones have to sell the coins they have to keep the lights on. They're just hoping that the price will go up, but it hasn't yet. We also saw the hash rate drop a little, which doesn't happen very often, but it did. I thought it would have gone down even more, and I understand that there are probably some mines who are working too hard and haven't given up yet. As they leave, they turn the machines on and leave them running because they believe it will come back up. And until they give up and say,